He was wise to use you against me. Did you really believe I did not see it? You are of no further use.
Hello, third sister. Revenge does wonders for the will to live, don't you think? Your rage was useful. We will leave you where we found you. In the gutter where you belong. Goodbye, Grand Inquisitor.
Before we move on to the next topic, if you have anything you'd like to dive deeper into from the previous segment, please leave a comment below. Give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. All right, let's move on to the next topic. The Empire anthem that Bertel crafted for the show is perhaps his greatest achievement. Unlike Williams' Imperial March, which is bold and theatrical, Bertel's Imperial theme is a study in restraint. It consists of a slow descending bass line played on a distorted cello, paired with faint electronic pulses and distant metallic clangs. It is heard most prominently in scenes set in Imperial Security Bureau (ISB) offices like those of Dedra Meero and Luthen Rael's encounters with Imperial officials. The theme never swells to a crescendo. It just lingers a low growl that reminds the audience of the Empire's omnipotence. In an analysis for Film Score Monthly music critic John Burlingame noted that Bertel's Imperial theme communicates oppression not through volume, but through persistence. It's the sound of a weight that never lifts, a presence that never goes away. This persistence is what makes Andor feel so relentlessly real. In other Star Wars stories, the Empire's threat is often punctuated by dramatic moments. The destruction of Alderaan, the march of ATs, the firing of the Death Star. But in Andor, the Empire's oppression is woven into the fabric of daily life. It is the soldier checking identification papers at a checkpoint. It is the bureaucrat denying a permit. It is the fear in a stranger's eyes when the word rebel is whispered. Bertel's score amplifies this by being equally persistent. It is there in the quiet moments when nothing exciting is happening, reinforcing the idea that the Empire's tyranny is not just a threat, but a way of life. To fully appreciate the power of Bertel's score, we must compare it to the traditional Star Wars sound in specific contexts. Take the scene in The Empire Strikes Back, when Darth Vader reveals he is Luke's father. Williams' score erupts with a dramatic crescendo of brass and strings, underscoring the emotional shock of the moment. It is a powerful cinematic moment that tells the audience exactly how to feel. Now take a comparable scene in Andor Season 1, Episode 8, Narkina 5, when Cassian realizes that the prisoners on the factory floor are being worked to death, their sentences extended indefinitely. There is no dramatic musical swell. Instead, we hear the low hum of the factory machinery paired with a faint dissonant string note that slowly rises in volume. The music does not tell us to feel horrified. It makes us feel horrified by merging with the sound of the machinery, the clank of metal, and the exhausted breathing of the prisoners. It is a more intimate, more visceral experience, one that puts us in Cassian's shoes rather than observing him from a distance. Britell's score also plays a crucial role in highlighting the quiet desperation of the rebellion. In other Star Wars stories, rebellion is often portrayed as a romantic cause, a band of heroes fighting against impossible odds with hope as their greatest weapon. But in Andor, rebellion is a dirty, dangerous business filled with betrayal, compromise, and death. The rebels are not noble knights. They are smugglers, farmers, and activists doing whatever it takes to survive. Britell's music reflects this by avoiding soaring anthems and instead using tentative melodic fragments that often feel unresolved. For example, in the Aldhani heist sequence, Season 1, Episode 6, The Eye, the music builds slowly through layers of percussion and strings but never reaches a triumphant climax. Instead, it cuts off abruptly when the rebels make their escape, leaving the audience with a sense of unease rather than relief. This musical choice mirrors the reality of the heist, a partial success that comes at a terrible cost with no guarantee of future victories. In interviews, Britell has spoken about the influence of classical composers like Igor Stravinsky and Arnold Schoenberg on his work for Andor, particularly their use of dissonance and rhythmic complexity to create tension. He has also cited the work of electronic musicians like Brian Eno and Tim Hecker for their ability to create immersive ambient soundscapes. This blend of classical and electronic influences gives the score a unique sound that feels both timeless and modern, fitting for a story that is both a part of the Star Wars universe and a departure from it. As we dive deeper into Britell's score, we will explore how he uses subtlety to create oppression, how he redefines hope through musical restraint, how he deconstructs the idea of an Imperial anthem, and how his work is reshaping the sound of Star Wars for future generations. We will examine specific scenes, specific musical choices, and specific interviews with Britell and the Andor creative team to understand how the score became an integral part of the show's success. And we will ask the question that lies at the heart of Andor's sound. Why does restraint sometimes speak louder than grandeur? The answer, as we will discover, is that in a world as cruel and unforgiving as the Empire's, true emotion comes not from theatrical gestures, but from the quiet persistence of the human spirit. Britell's score does not just accompany Andor, it embodies it. It is the sound of a galaxy fighting back, not with a roar, but with a whisper. And in that whisper, we hear the true cost of rebellion and the true power of hope.